And welcome to another edition of South Texas Now. This is attorney and nurse practitioner Joe Flores. Remind you to join us each and every week right here on NBC, CBS, Telemundo, and KTMV. With me is a very special person. She is running for office. You'll be seeing her signs everywhere. Now, is it you go by Laura or Allison or Ramos or all of the above?
All of the above.
Well, so nice to see you. It's been a while.
It has.
Yeah, I like the scarf. Very nice. Yeah. Does it come in a 2X for me or no, not really? Okay. Well, we're going to start off by everybody that has not met you. Tell us about your education, training, and experience, background, whatever you'd like to talk about. The mic is yours.
Yes, sir. So I am an attorney, a local attorney, and I'm born and raised here in Corpus Christi. I graduated from Toloso Midway High School.
Go Warriors. Went
on to Texas A&M University, Corpus Christi, where I studied criminal justice and with a concentration in the court system. From there, I went to San Antonio, St. Mary's, where I participated in the clinics. So I did the criminal justice clinic and the immigration clinic. I received a pro bono certificate from the dean, so I did a lot of pro bono work for people who in need. And after that, I came back to Corpus, and I opened my practice here.
Yeah, I remember that. It seems like yesterday, you know. And what made you get into immigration? I know you do other things, but you've got a passion for immigration, too. Yet you're a very conservative person, but you're doing immigration. What's your view on immigration right now?
So before going into law school, I clerked for Deborah Rodriguez, who's a local immigration attorney, and I also worked with Jerry Guerra, a family law attorney, and so I kind of tried to see what area of practice I wanted to do. And then the immigration clinic in St. Mary's was very hands-on. We were able to represent individuals charged in removal proceedings in San Antonio and get our hands, dirty and actually do the dirty work, yes, to get them to stay. And I enjoyed it. I learned a lot. I also worked a little bit at the USCIS office for naturalization for individuals who are lawful permanent residents trying to adjust status to become citizens here in the U.S.
Well, I mean, right now, not just here in the United States, but globally, we've got a look at, the borders, the people really watching to see who can be here and who can't be here. And I'm not going to split hairs, but as far as what we're seeing right now, are you quite busy with what's going on right now? For instance, people that have green cards, are you seeing people scared or fearful of being deported?
So what happened with the Biden administration is they let in a lot of people that shouldn't have been let in, and in all honesty, they're from other countries other than Mexico. They were from Haiti. They were from Afghanistan. They're from areas that pose a danger to the United States. And so that did a disservice for the individuals that were doing things the right way. And so a lot of individuals that, they came in with a visa and they're adjusting status the right way, they ended up in the back of the line, and it wreaked havoc on the system. So it has been busier than usual.
I mean, Obama deported more people than Bush. A lot of people don't know that. So it's not just a partisan issue. It's the law, So let's kind of turn towards what are you running for, what position, and what that entails.
Right, so it's a local county court position. It is county court at law number 3. It handles criminal cases up to Class A misdemeanors. It handles civil disputes up to $350,000 in jurisdictional limits, and probate matters and will matters, will contests.
So misdemeanor matters, like I just came back from one where the paperwork was all jacked up, so I'm late, I apologize. But it's a very important court. But, right now, as I see it, the jail is pretty full. So what are some other ways that misdemeanors, especially first-timers, how can they be handled, especially if it's their first time and you don't want to see them do jail? Is there alternative incarceration or house arrest or something?
So there's pretrial diversion programs and things of that nature, but it is important to focus on the individuals that are in jail, get them out of jail, especially if they're held only on a misdemeanor, not a felony, to avoid these backlogs. in Oasis County.
Yeah, we got like a third that are have mental issues in the jail. When I was interviewing Sheriff Hooper, he was telling me, we don't want the misdemeanors in jail. You know, I mean, we already have to separate the gang members. We have to separate those that are mentally ill or that want to hurt themselves. So, I mean, we're seeing a lot of backlog on that. What have you seen personally, because you boots on the ground, as far as in the misdemeanor courts? Is there a big backlog?
My understanding is that there's been a focus on the in-jail cases, getting those set for status and for conferencing, which is trying to push those along, get those individuals out. And there have been some recent changes where when you're in felony court and an individual pleads with a pending misdemeanor, they're able to handle it at the same time, which helps. So there has been some progress recently on misdemeanor cases.
Yeah, I was handling something and I was surprised that on one case I had Xanax was involved, and not my own, my client's. And, and anyway, they were possession of Xanax, and they were handling it in misdemeanor court. And I said, whoa, I mean, controlled substance like that, it's Schedule 2, I think, or at least 3. And so wouldn't it be in felony court? I mean, but they're handling more drug cases in misdemeanor court. Is that correct?
I believe that's the current administration that with the district attorney's office that they're doing that now.
Yeah, and as far as what's your stance on people that are caught with gummies, marijuana, all that? It's become very prevalent. It's almost like a de facto decriminalization. And the last district attorney before Granberry, where they were just watching a video and got a fine. What is your take on marijuana? Below 4 ounces, below the state jail felony. We're talking misdemeanors.
So I think it depends on the individual's history. If they've been doing it, repeatedly, then there needs to be punishment. But if it's, a first-time offense, then there are pretrial diversion programs that could help with that. And I don't feel that they need to be prosecuted harshly, but laws need to be followed.
They need to lay off the Dorito trucks and smoking a lot of dope. Remember that, kids. And, the other thing is they'll be bringing in gummies, or you don't know the amount. They'll maybe shipping them in from Colorado, Amazon working overtime, or they're bringing them in. They're in Colorado and they think, I'll just put them on my bag and come home. And then they'll bring very potent amounts, strong amounts of THC, not just CBD or hemp. So not to belabor the point, but in those circumstances, you would still probably be looking, if they're first timers, at PTD or deferred.
Well, in those instances, it could be a federal crime, right? So they should be prosecuted at the federal level, depending on the quantity. And if it's a large quantity, then no, I would.
Okay, all right. Okay, you're running for this office, and you've got a primary, and then you've got the big show, all right?
Yes.
What have you been doing as far as your campaign and the good times, bad times? I want to hear about it all.
So it's been good. It's been enjoyable. I started early. I made my announcement on September 19th, and so we've had a few fundraisers. We've gone to a bunch of forums and doing a lot of block walking, canvassing, and getting out there one-on-one with voters, and I've enjoyed it so far.
Can they Cash App or Venmo you? I mean, that's the way to go. I mean, really?
Absolutely. They can look me up online, LauraRamosForJudge.com. I have it attached to my WinRed account so they can make a deposit online. Also, I encourage everyone to follow me on Facebook, to add me, follow my page. So the more followers, the better. Voter turnout has been low, so I'd like to encourage people to register to vote, to go out and vote. February 17th is early voting, so if you could take your civic duty and go out and vote, I would appreciate that.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're talking midterms. I mean, a lot of people don't come out and vote. Weather has something to do with it. I mean, so to get these people out to vote, have you seen anything change? There's been a lot of hubbub about, voting and trying to prevent voter fraud. Personally, I haven't seen a lot of that going on here in Nueces County, but say seniors that are at home or somebody that has special needs and can't go out and brave the cold and go vote at the polling station, what other ways can they get involved and vote?
They need to reach out and call the elections office, the local elections office, and they could reach out to the Republican Party or the Democratic Party conventions and their individuals and precinct chairs that would assist, or they can apply for mail-in ballots within the designated time period.
Well, we got a few minutes left. It's flown by, but I want it to be all yours. Why should the voters out there, whatever party or independent, why should they vote for you to be their next county court at law judge?
I am the most experienced in the primary election. I have been an attorney for 14 years. I've handled trials at the federal level, the state level, and the local level, and I have the all-around knowledge to be on the bench.
And as far as, anything you'd like to tell, knocking on 180,000 doors, hopefully, you're knocking on it, they're watching you here on TV. What would you like to tell the voters with the minute that we have left?
What I've actually enjoyed doing is hearing what the voters want and what they expect in the court system. And a lot of them, they want to feel welcome in court. They want to, feel like it's a place that they can have their problem solved, and that's what I would want to achieve as a judge on the bench.
All right. Well, we've run out of time, but remember the magic number to call if they want to get involved with your campaign or they want to sign. What is it?
They can call 361-960-5432.
All right. Magic Bill is going to put that on the lower third. And your website and Facebook, please.
Laura Ramos for judge.com and elect Laura Ramos for County Court at Law Number 3 Facebook.
And once again, to shell out money on Cash App, Venmo, whatever, how do they do it? They go to your site?
Go to my website, go to my Facebook, and WinRed. Look up my name, Laura Ramos.
WinRed, I like that. Yeah. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I was stamping out injustice myself. Okay. So tune in, and we've got another special guest coming on. You know him, you love him, and he helps children and people with special needs. So thanks to Laura Allison Ramos, and she is running for County Court at Law Number 3. Get involved, get registered, and vote. We'll be back after these messages. The details matter. Every person matters.
He is a straight shooter.
I love that he helps the community.
He's committed to his clients in a way that you never feel like you're being left out.
He applies the same attention, the same strategy.
Very smart.
Whether it's with their sons or daughters in trouble with the law, it's my clients who inspire me to keep pushing. I can't let them down. And we're back after a brief break. South Texas Now, airing on NBC, CBS, Telemundo, and also on all the social media platforms, plus KTMB Carlos Lopez's station. With me is Judge Timothy McCoy, Court 5. If you don't know what Court 5 does, it is vital. It is one of the hardest working courts in Texas. Welcome, Judge.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Good to see you again. It's been a while.
Good to see you. Yeah, a lot of people don't understand what Court 5 does. So let's just go down to brass tacks. You've been there a decade and change. What do you do on a typical day?
The bulk of our docket is, of course, CPS cases. Now, Court 5 is a specialty court. It was, as you know, you've practiced there. We grew up practicing there. And it handles all the CPS, juvenile delinquency or juvenile criminal matters, anything Class B misdemeanor above, guardianships, and then JP appeals of all, Justice of the Peace Court appeals of all things. So basically everything no one else wants to do.
It's a tough job. Yeah, one of the heartbreaking things, not just the kids, that in itself is hard. But I'm seeing more and more people over 50 that don't have parents, that don't have siblings, and aren't married, and they are needing special oversight. Tell us a little bit about guardianships.
Well, and that really guardianship law and guardianships in general have changed a lot since I've been on the bench. You know, you said it, gosh, a decade, that's a long time. I'm the longest sitting judge on that bench at this point. But people are living longer, they're healthier, and because of that, they're, again, you know, living longer, they need, sometimes in their later years, need some help. And in that case, many times, you know, somebody has to jump in to make decisions for them, medical or financial, if they start having mental lapses and that kind of thing. And that's where guardianships come in. And that's one thing we have exclusive jurisdiction for over.
Yeah, I'm seeing more and more of that, and because people are living longer, and it's a
we're
tremendous
seeing more
duty.
cases. You're right.
Yeah,
and we're seeing more contested cases, which is interesting. You know, we're almost like pre-will contests.
yeah, like the daughter thinks that she was going to be the one to take care of mom, and then mom marries the tennis pro, the last month before she passes or becomes incapacitated. The other thing, people don't want to let go of their independence. So how do you determine whether or not they can manage their affairs?
Well, the state takes guardianships and the court takes guardianships very seriously. I mean, because you're doing exactly what you just said. If you grant a guardianship over somebody, you're basically taking their constitutional rights away. You're taking away for example, their right to vote in some instances, their right to make decisions with regards to where they live, and the right to manage their own finances. So in order to do that, there has to be a big chunk of proof in front of you. You have to have physicians that say, yes, this person is having those issues. They're automatically, no matter what, how much money they make or what the situation is, are appointed a lawyer to make sure they're being represented and not being taken advantage of. Not only that, but once a guardianship case opens and is granted before the court has oversight over that case indefinitely until either the guardianship closes or they pass away, which if they're handling finances, I have to go through and audit all the finances to make sure they're not being taken advantage of financially by their guardian. We have to have somebody go see them, and they have to submit annual reports every year with regards to the health and well-being. So the court has continued oversight over these cases. And that's a big part of what I do, too. If I'm not on the bench, I'm generally over auditing guardianship files.
And some of these horrendous children cases that you have on the other end of the spectrum. Take, for instance, sometimes you have multiple children. Someone, not judging here, but someone has 4 fathers, for 6 kids. And mom, and then there might be unknown fathers, which always freaks me out. It's like unknown fathers. How do you handle those types of cases with multiple children? And I think they want to reunify with mom, but maybe she's on drugs. Maybe she's making the wrong choices with a violent partner.
Well, there's a number, and again, that's a whole other aspect of what we do at Court 5 with the CPS cases or Child Protective Services cases. Any case involving the Department of Family and Protective Services, or what we call CPS, goes through Court 5. So if a child is going to get taken into the conservatorship of the state or CPS, this court is the one that makes the decision with regards to that and what's done. It is amazing. You'd be surprised what goes on right under our noses. Some of the abuse and neglect that happens, it's increased statewide. It's not just an Oasis County issue. But saying that, we have so many great programs in place, and we've done really well and the way we handle those cases, getting them done in a timely manner. Our reunification rate is one of the best in the state. Getting these families back together. And sometimes you can't, the cases are bad, and sometimes you can't get a family back together. I did 4 adoptions this morning in Court 5 where, children remain in foster and care, and sometimes you have to terminate parental rights.
That's a sad situation, but a lot of the time you give a parent a chance, the program to work, and they still mess up. They're still using drugs. They're addicted, or they break the law, or they continue to neglect their children. Are you seeing very young mothers and fathers taking care of these children, and that's part of it, or is it more drugs opposed to youth?
I can tell you, when somebody it doesn't take a lot of money to raise a child. It just doesn't. Money,
unless they're spoiled.
Well, exactly.
I didn't mean that, Vanessa. Yeah,
but the vast majority of people, it doesn't matter if you have a minimum wage job. There are programs out there that are available to help you. There's food stamps, there's housing, there's benefits, and most people are great people, and they raise their kids and they do well, no matter the monetary situation, and make it happen. They navigate the system and love their kids and do great. When you see the chronic, homelessness, abuse and neglect, unemployment, that type of stuff, and you do see it, there's generally a couple of reasons for it. You're going to have a capacity issue maybe, which you can generally see up front, or drugs and alcohol. And unfortunately, I'd say well over 90% of the CPS cases we see involve drugs and alcohol.
Drinking and drugging.
Drugs. And it's, we'll see ebbs and flows when different drugs are introduced to, the system, I guess. And if we can tackle that problem, and we have a specialty drug court for CPS parents, then generally everything else starts to be really easy for people.
On a national level, and we were just talking to someone before the break that has an immigration background. Do you often see Spanish speaking only, or is that a rarity, or are there also those barriers where the parent may not have full citizenship or a green card, or may be subject to deportation?
You mean in CPS cases?
Yes.
I've seen the whole gamut. I guess the answer to your question, yes. I've seen individuals.
But you're not going to deport them yourself, but you have a duty, or the CPS will get immigration involved. They may be subject to deportation if they're breaking the law or they abuse their child, right?
That could be. That's not my department.
Right.
I'll tell you that. I rule with what's in front of me. Now, no one brings an immigration case to me. However, I have had cases where a parent unfortunately gets deported, or those types of situations. As far as Spanish speaking, of course anybody's going to be accommodated when they come into court.
Absolutely.
Interpreters and all that. But any scenario, it's a shame, but those scenarios do exist, and we just do the best we can to navigate them.
We got a few minutes left, but what is the biggest problem you see day in and day out with these parents? And I'm not trying to pick on parents that are doing their very best they can. You don't come with a roadmap to be a parent, but what is the biggest problem? Alcohol? Drugs?
I would say, like I said, and that goes for anything, any case. For example, we also do juvenile cases, and handle juvenile cases, and I would say 90% plus of the juveniles that come through Court 5 with a criminal issue test positive for some sort of drug.
Heavy stuff?
Marijuana, at least marijuana.
At least.
Yeah, and that's the most prevalent. However, people make bad decisions when they're impaired, and that's what those substances do to you. But as far as with CPS cases, that's the problem, is the drugs.
It's heartbreaking.
But again, the goal of the laws of the state of Texas are to reunify these children with their parents. And I didn't make the law, but it works. And it's not just because it sounds right. Study after study after study shows that kids do better with their family and their parents. So that's what we work towards. However, again, there are certain circumstances where it just doesn't work, where parents may choose the drugs over their kids, and it's heartbreaking. But if that happens, we do the best we can to help these children and do what's right for them and find them forever homes.
Knocking on 200,000 doors here in Nueces County. I have not heard. You have to run for office just like most judges. What would you like to tell the voters out there?
Well, I'm really proud of the work that we've done at Court 5, and it's not just me. I mean, we have a great staff. We have guardianship investigators. We have
Diego,
an associate judge at Martha Huerta that's worked with me since from the get-go. And you said a decade. I've been on the bench now longer than anybody in Court 5. No one can raise their hand and say they have more experience than I do. But what it comes down to is I love what I'm doing. I'm proud of the success we've had, and there's a number of programs that I'm still going to be putting in place with our specialty courts and helping with juvenile crime, especially gun violence. That's going to be a big something I'm biting off this year that I've made a commitment. We're starting a specialty court. You're the first one I've told about it, other than our steering committees and stuff like that.
And the couple 100,000 people watching.
Well, right, but we're going to specifically address kids carrying weapons because we've seen a rise in that lately. And I can tell you, every time we've had an issue with crime or a rise in crime and we've addressed it, we've solved it.
So you are going to be seeking another term?
Yes, sir.
Tim McCoy, County Court at Law Number 5, from guardianships to taking care of our youth. You guys get out there, register, vote, and remember Tim McCoy, he's been in there 10 years plus. His Honor, Timothy McCoy, seeking your vote for another 4 years. We've run out of time, but thank you and God bless. Thank you, Your Honor.
Good to see you again.